Hi there, I'm Spira. This is Spira Yoga Shala. I'd like to share a little bit with you, my story and my mission, what brought me here. My mission here is to teach the art of self-healing using data from studies and good old neuroscience. I am a trauma survivor. I have what's called complex PTSD, similar to developmental trauma, just different names. I have been healing for about 2 years now, over 2 years, with the help of an excellent medical team, as well as myself. And we all have a role to play. I have a physician for any of my physical ailments. I have a psychiatrist for any medications that I might need. And I have a therapist as well, with whom I currently practice cognitive restructuring. As for me, I'm in charge of the somatic therapies. And the reason for that is because the studies do show that one of the best ways to heal trauma, which is in the brain, by the way, and in the body, is through the brain and the nervous system, so through somatic therapies. During this time, I've learned a lot about the brain and how all of these modalities work synergistically to help me heal. Now, if you don't mind, I have to read from a prompt because I tend to go off on tangents as one of my symptoms is ADHD. So in order for me to stay on track, I had to write things down. So forgive me for seeming like I'm not looking at the camera. I've learned my limits and how to accept them, as well as which paths I can further explore comfortably and safely. I opened this yoga shala as a way to share my practice with you. You may not be a trauma survivor, but these methods can also apply to chronic stress, which over time can have the same effect on the body and the brain as trauma. Chronic stress and trauma wreak havoc on the body. They weaken the immune system, the digestive system, they cause brain fog, migraines, chronic pain, and sometimes even chronic illness. I'm often amazed at the amount of money that people spend on things to avoid doing the actual work. They'll hire psychics and spiritual coaches because they're not getting what they need from the medical community. They look for pills, quick fixes, and some might even travel to exotic locations in search of healing. I was actually one of those people. But you know what? What you really need is here, in your body. In your body, you have everything you need to heal yourself. What I mean by that is, when the body is in homeostasis, all of the systems of the body can work optimally and function optimally. And then your body has the space to do its own healing work. The good news is it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You don't have to fly to Peru or Bali like I did. Although I don't regret them because they were amazing trips anyway. But all you really need is yourself, maybe take a few classes, consistency, and dedication, and you will make progress. You can make progress fairly quickly, actually, if you give it a shot. As for yoga, please do not be intimidated by yoga. Yoga is for everyone. The way we teach yoga here is we teach it a little slower, a little more mindfully, so that you can tune into your body and also learn enough about your body so that you can come into these poses. My teaching philosophy is not to get your body into a pose, but to teach you how to bring a pose to your body. We use props, we use tools, we use alternate positions. There's a lot that we can do. So please don't think that your body is not meant for yoga. Every body is meant for yoga. And if you still feel a little intimidated, please don't. I actually have an upcoming class, a short course, 4 weeks, Yoga 101, just to teach you the basics, the lingo, and all of the things that you'll need to understand before you get into a yoga class. Now, frankly, you don't really need anything to take a yoga class, but for a lot of people, this just makes them feel a little more comfortable, so you really know what to expect and also how to be in a yoga class. Now, yoga is one of the evidence-based modalities that I currently use in my own healing, and again, as I offer it in my Shala. But I teach other evidence-based modalities as well. I teach mindfulness, I teach meditation, I teach TRE. TRE is tension and trauma release exercise. It's actually neurogenic tremoring, and it's a way to heal the trauma in your body through your nervous system in a more passive way than we generally do with yoga. As a side note, I would like to share with you that for me, TRE was my game changer. Even though I'd been practicing yoga for 20-something years, when it came to healing the trauma and bringing myself to a place of calm and centeredness, it was actually my TRE practice that did it for me more than my yoga practice. Not to say that yoga won't, but for me, it was the combination that was chef's kiss, just what I needed, you know? Now, I should mention that I am the only TRE provider in the immediate Boston area right now. So if you don't live in this area, you can look on the TRE website and maybe find a provider close to you. But in Massachusetts, I think there are only 5 of us, and most of them are in the North Shore area. So if you're in that area, then perfect, right? But anyway, I use all of these modalities. I also teach therapeutic art classes, or I like to call them mindful-based art classes, because I'm not an art therapist, but I am a licensed art teacher. So using mindfulness in this way is also very healing for the brain. So just to give you an idea of how far I've come, 2 years ago, I could barely complete a sentence without tripping over my words or forgetting what I was about to say. The brain fog that I had was like nothing I had ever experienced. Even though I'd suffered from trauma my whole life, what happened was it basically came to a head where I spent so many years overachieving and trying to succeed in my teaching career as well as my art and music part-time careers. I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing until my body couldn't take it anymore. I spent so much time and energy pretending to be okay, mainly out of fear and shame, that I broke. Everything just, I reached a breaking point. My body just could not take it anymore. So it basically shut down after 17 years of teaching in public schools. And then it was time to do the work. There was no way around it. I didn't have a choice. For me, that was my rock bottom. So I got started. Now, I was already teaching yoga, and I'd already, like I said, had been practicing for over 20 years, but I didn't use yoga intentionally for healing trauma. Now I understand that there are ways to do that, and I do teach trauma-sensitive yoga as well, or trauma for healing. So what's really interesting is that I already had this practice that I could lean into, and then the more that research that I did and the more that I read on the topic, I learned so much more about the neuroscience. I also did some trainings, of course, because I'm a teacher and that's what we do. So now I feel pretty confident in the neuroscience aspect of it, explaining it and how it works in our bodies. And that gives me more confidence to teach you some of these as well, because I know that they work. They're proven to work. And now I want to share it with you. Basically, I've created a curriculum of classes to provide you with the things that I wish I had when I needed them. In many ways, I'm starting my life all over again. I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back to teaching in a school. Now I'm aware of the triggers that exist there and how much my body can handle and how much my body can't. So I've created this and I really hope that you'll join me on this healing journey. You're not joining me on my healing journey, on our healing journey, on our collective healing journey. And to be frank, now more than ever, especially in light of the pandemic and the widespread collective trauma it has caused, now is the time to learn these tools for your toolbox. you'll come to classes and learn them, and you can take them home and do them at home as well. In fact, I want you to. You will have homework. It's optional and no one is grading you, but if this is your wish, then you will have homework. So I invite you to join me on this healing journey that we're all on together, so that we might find joy again, maybe some happiness, definitely some resilience to help you heal and maintain the best health for you. So whether you choose yoga, TRE, mindfulness-based art classes, trauma-sensitive yoga, workshops, they all have one purpose, and that is to teach you how to heal. Now, most of the classes that I'm offering are still online because of the pandemic. As you can see, my studio space is very small. This is just a little boutique studio. I do offer a couple of TRE classes. In fact, I'm going to be offering one per month in the studio, a very small group, 3 people, 4 people max. But for yoga, I'm finding that people just aren't ready to come into the studio yet, even though I have a lot of safety protocols in place. But if you are, let me know and we'll see if we can arrange something. I also offer private one-on-one for all of the above, for mindfulness, for meditation, for yoga, and for TRE. So check the schedule and also check for specials, because right now it's January. Happy New Year. And I am having a special for the month of January, which is a private TRE lesson, 2 for the price of 1. So you can learn TRE with me and invite a friend or family member, and this can be done either in person here in the studio or even on Zoom, if that is better for you and that is safer for you. I want you to do what feels safe for you. So welcome. Thank you for visiting my studio. Thank you for joining me. I welcome you. I hope that I can be of service to you. And namaste.